My name is Karambwe, aka Mama Tatu, and if you people have been following my WhatsApp status and FB stories, we've been talking about toxicity, especially with our parents. Like we've been brought up to think that paro ni paro, and they are always right, as in despite of how they treat you, how badly they treat you, as in you don't talk, like you can't talk. Mzazi ni mzazi, umuheshimu, it doesn't matter the toxicity in them, you just have to handle and accept them the way they are. And we are all about healing and becoming better people, because we don't have to raise a generation that will spend the rest of their lives trying to heal from childhood traumas, right, Nancy?
Yes.
And today I am featuring Nancy. Nancy is one of my followers who volunteered to speak about toxicity. She has been raised by a toxic parent, and here we are. Let's hear what she has to say, the experiences that she had to go through, and learn a thing or two, because we want to be better people, better parents. And we also want to know how to deal with the toxic parents, because they are here with us. I mean, they're not going anywhere. So Nancy, how are you?
I am well. Thank you for hosting me today.
Thank you for agreeing to be featured in this channel. So you opened up. You said you'd want to talk a thing or two about what you had to undergo through with your parents. But is it both parents or it's just one?
For us, one of our parents is the most toxic. The other one is more of using that to cope. And so sometimes she does things that she doesn't realize she's affecting our lives. So for us, our dad has been the most toxic person in our life.
Wow. Toxic in what way? What do you mean by toxic?
So for me, being a firstborn, as long as I can remember.
A firstborn in a family of how many?
In a family of 7.
Mm-hmm.
As far as I can remember, back in class 5 and class 6. You'd notice that my voice is a bit deeper than most ladies. And my dad would always bring it up every other moment.
About your voice being deeper?
No, he would actually he would actually make it as a joke. I grew up knowing it's a joke, it's a form of love, until I realized it was being used to make me shut up, because I was the chatty kind of babies who want to talk and relate with every other person out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so with my dad, he would always be like, I would always be saying something and be like, wewe ongea kama msichana. I know, because I didn't know any other way to talk. I would have to shut up, because how do you even tell me to speak like a girl? This is how I speak. So that is as far as my memory can bring back things that when things started going wrong. In class 5, this is an incident maybe I don't think I'm forgetting anytime soon.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in class 5, first term, after we closed during the first time, that was in April.
Mm-hmm.
I remember it was drizzling, April drizzles and stuff, and we were just playing. Kids play out and love playing out when it's drizzling.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad came home, and I got a beating that broke my right wrist. Like, it was that bad.
What had you done?
I didn't have my sweater on.
Mm-hmm.
It was a taboo not to have your sweater on anytime.
No.
And I got this kind of beating that when my mom came back home, I couldn't even tell. I think I was so ashamed to even tell my mom that my dad had beaten me that much. And
so you had to hide that, to lie about that?
Yes, I told my mom I had fallen on the staircase.
Wow.
And she took me to hospital. And 1 week later, it was time to go back to school. My dad doesn't hear nothing about not going to school. So I went back to school with my broken wrist.
Okay. Did your mom ever feel like you being treated badly, or she was all okay about it all through?
My mom is more submissive, and even if things are not going okay, she would rarely speak up and be like, no.
And then you see the generation yapo mbele, and even now we are trying to unlearn things. We are meant to believe that women have to submit to men. You don't have a say, you don't have a way out. So when you hapo uambiwe, akikohoa unaitika. So how did it make you feel like a child? How was it growing up, for you growing up as a child?
So for me, growing up, most times I would hide when my dad was home. That was
hide where?
That was if I knew, like I knew my dad's schedules, what time he comes. So I'd get home, eat my dinner. If dinner is not ready, I'll just go sleep. I'll eat it in the morning when going to school, because it was too tough in here trying to. And funny enough, I'm left-handed, but I write with my right hand, because my dad's
couldn't take that.
My dad's side of the family does not believe about left-handedness and stuff. So I would get beaten, like literally when I'm eating, he would hit my hand and tell me, eat with the proper hand. Yes, and that was too much. And I think my mom never realized at some point. Okay, my mom thought I was becoming rebellious, because now I would take my food in a plate and eat it from my bed. And so we were always fighting with my mom. Why are you carrying your food to your bed? I found a plate in your bed. But she didn't realize that I was trying to cope up with all these. I was trying to cope up with not really being beaten, because I know how to use my left hand. How am I supposed to switch and use my right hand?
I know.
Yeah.
Wow, now I see you're a parent. You have a very beautiful prince right here.
Yes.
What are your ambitions as a parent? How do you aspire to raise this boy? Different.
One, being a creative. I've grown up a creative kid, and my dad never heard about it. Like, yo, what is creativity?
First of all, is that your real dad, like your biological dad?
As far as I know, yes. I don't know. Yeah, as far as I know.
So parents can be toxic to their own also.
Yes, they can be toxic to their own.
Okay. What do you want to bring this baby to become?
One, I'm having to unlearn shouting, because in our family, shouting is communication.
Yeah, I also remember when growing up, our parents could tell us anything at any particular time, no matter where you are at. Like unaitwa jina, you are like, and then later you come to learn hiyo word inamaanisha matusi mbaya sana. To them it was like. So you also, that is how.
Yes, I'm having to unlearn, and God sometimes gives us what we need in our life. Because with my son, I am all outspoken, I'm all outgoing. My son is more calm. So whenever I'm tempted to shout, I remember that my baby will cry, because my baby hates. Even if you're not shouting at him, if you shout, even outside our house, you start shouting, my baby starts to cry. And so I've learned, shouting is not a form of communication. Yes, I can tell him things and not shout at him.
And it doesn't solve anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
And still violence doesn't. Sometimes you never realize the things we grow up with affects us until way later when we have done funny things. So because growing up with my violent dad, my dad wouldn't beat you many times. Like, it was not about the number of times. But when he beat you, it's stuck. It's stuck. When he beat you, it's stuck. We even had anyahunyo in our house. Like, that was for caning us. Like,
but does it mean that you're against caning and disciplining of kids?
There is caning to punish and there is caning to correct. Yes. So my dad is more of a perfectionist, I would say. And if he found a cup on the table, we were seated, both of us, and maybe you just left, and then he came in, he would beat me up because there's a cup on the table.
Because you're the elder daughter or something?
Not even that. The fact that you were seated there and there's a cup on the table. So my question would always be, why don't you first ask what happened? Because maybe I was reading something or I was doing something else and I didn't realize there's a cup on top of the table. So my dad acts and then asks. It's act and then ask. It's not ask and then act.
I get you.
Yes, so that is basically beating to punish, not beating to correct.
So has the toxicity run through your adulthood, or it stopped at your childhood, ukikuwa mbigi, and then no, it was good?
Shockingly, it grew worse as I grew.
No.
Yes, it actually grew as I grew.
But now you're a grown up. How can you be punished? How can you be controlled? I mean,
Wow, with my dad, he says, provided you're his daughter, you can never be too old for him. That is one thing, you can never be
the 7 of you are daughters.
Yes, we are all daughters.
Mhm.
So you cannot be too old for him. And now growing up, because for me, the only way I knew people would love me back is if I did something. Because my dad had taught me, if you do things right, then we'll be right with you. We'll be okay with you. If you polish your shoes on time, if you do this on time, then I will love you. So for me, I grew up knowing I have to do something to
You need
get
to
love.
do things for people so that they can love you back.
Yes.
Wow.
And so after clearing my Form 4, I got a chance to do a course in catering and then got a job. Yes, and for me, I would always take back every other coin I got because this is the only way I would...
Home.
Yes.
That is to them.
Yes, because this is the only way I would feel love.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whenever I had the money and had taken money home, they'd be so glad. They'd be like, oh, this is my daughter. They'd even show you out to their friends until that money ran out. Then you become the outcast again, and then the cycle continues.
So when you don't have money, hawakutambui, they don't appreciate you, they don't love you the same.
When you don't have money, even your younger sisters will be rude, and you can't say nothing.
But they are rude. Are your younger sisters rude because that's how the parents have taught them, have shown them?
Yeah, because even if I report to my dad or to my mom, they will do nothing. So for them, that's okay to do it.
What if you discipline them as the elder sister?
Oh, I'll get a beating. It
For real?
doesn't matter how old I am.
Wow.
It doesn't matter how old I am, but you're not gonna beat kids in that house. Like, yo.
So how is it for you dealing with your parents, with your dad at this particular point at your age and as a mother?
For me, it has gotten to a place where now I have to literally... I had moved out. I was living in Embakasi alone, and then my dad was like, no. And then when I got my baby, my dad was like, no, you have to come back home, nini. And then my mom was not feeling well, so I was like, let me just move back.
Go look after your mama.
Yes, and then I can move out again. But then what? That was, I keep saying that is one of the mistakes I made in my adulthood that I would not want any other person to redo.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were good the first 1 month. The second month, you're not providing for the bills. And remember now I had left everything I was doing in Embakasi. I was cooking for people. I was providing my services there. So I'm all the way this side. And so I can't do it. I'm trying to rebuild my life again. And yes, I cannot provide as much as they want me to provide.
Yeah.
So that becomes an issue again. You're not providing.
Wow.
You're always seated in the house eating.
Wow.
And yeah, because I'm a CS mom. So
whatever work you're doing there, whatever you help, your offering is overlooked.
yes, they don't care. You're not giving money, you're not doing nothing. Like, you're not doing nothing. Yes, so it was so bad at some point that I was like, what? I don't really want to do this again. And I remember looking for a job with my small baby, and people were like, why are you looking for a job? You have a tiny baby.
Yeah.
You have a tiny baby.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, I need to work. And then I opened a joint, a food joint. And then 3 months down the line, my dad comes home and says, no, you won't be working there anymore. I'm like, why?
You won't be working?
Yes. This baby needs you full time. I'm like, yo, I go home every other evening and I leave the house in the morning. And wherever I was working at that time was like a walking distance to the house. So my baby would be brought to me. Yes,
yeah.
and go back to the house. And it was bad, like it was totally bad. Because I had to close down eventually because of the dramas surrounding all these family dramas. I closed down my shop and I was home for 2 months, yes, this year still. And hell broke loose again because I'm not providing again. So it's a cycle of you're good when you're providing.
Like they don't even know what they want with you.
Yes.
They don't know if they want you at home, at work, or at work providing.
They want to see you and they want money. So how do you
manage? How do you manage that cycle and to make them happy and yourself? I believe you should come first. I come first in my life. So where is the balance?
I would say until recently, that's when I'm trying to find a balance towards it. Because I would always feel guilty and nini. But I am learning.
You'd feel the need to please them?
Yes, and the need to be there for my mom and my dad, for my siblings. Because I'd always be like, these people are looking up to me. I should not fail them. And then there was always that guilt of being the failure of the family, being the outcast of the family. And it would be so hard. Until I realized they don't care about me and my son. It got to a point where I could not provide for my own son, and I was like, okay, this is bad now. And that's when I reopened my joint again. And yeah.
Now this one?
Yes.
The car?
Kesha is.
Kesha eats. Yeah, and I've seen you making amazing food, awesome food.
Thank you.
Takeaways for families.
Yes.
Wow. How did you come about this business?
So one, I'm passionate about food.
You've done catering?
Yes, I have interned with a church in Nairobi. And yes, so I have always loved food. But for the longest time, my dad told me cooking is not a career.
Cooking is not a career.
Yes.
As in, what does your dad want? Basically, like,
my dad wants the lawyers, the doctors of the house.
Oh, I see.
But that's not me. I'm a creative. So it's either I cook, I do poetry, or that is what I am all about. So it doesn't work for me.
Okay, do you at some point feel like these parents, the toxic parents, the toxic kind of parents, don't know better than just being that? Like they've also been brought up by toxic parents themselves. Like they've been brought up in toxic environments. So that is the only way they were shown to, or they know to raise children, or maybe that is what they know as love. Is that the point, what is your opinion?
This would shock you to know that my dad, as old as he is, if my grandma calls right now and says he wants my dad home, my dad leaves his work and goes. And stays for even 2 or 3 months, leaving his family back, not knowing what they are eating.
Providing for his family or just living?
Not providing for them. And I think for him, he thinks that is love to his family.
To his mother.
To his mother, yes.
Love to his mother, yeah.
Yes.
Not realizing that he's neglecting his now actual family.
Yes.
Oh my.
And so maybe that's where he learned all this from. You know, like we all learn from somewhere.
So to this point, to a point that now you're speaking this out, it means now you've started to heal. You're in a journey. How is it for you? What is it about? What have you purposed to do with your life? Are you gonna neglect your family, or how are you gonna treat them from here onwards? From the time when you realize now this is toxicity and I need to love myself more?
One, I am not neglecting them, but I've realized a wounded person is not the best person to help another wounded person, because a wounded person bleeds on the wrong people. And yes, as much as I would want to be of help to them, I have first to heal my wounds so that I can be able to help them heal their own wounds.
Sure.
So it is it's more of healing my own wounds first. Because even in when you're flying out, you're told as an emergency precaution, in case of an accident, wear your mask first. Wear your oxygen mask first. Because you cannot help the other person wear the oxygen mask without helping yourself first.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I am learning to wear my oxygen mask first. I'm learning to provide for me and my son first before I'm able to provide for them. Yes. I am learning to do things for me first. And then I'm learning that I need to rest also. You know, like juggling motherhood, business, providing for my family. Sometimes in all these, I have lost the essence of rest until it has hit me that, whoa, woman, you need rest. Because as much as we want to be superheroes, there have only been one savior, Jesus Christ. We can't be saviors for people.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So rest has not been in your vocabulary or lifestyle?
Rest has not been in my lifestyle for a long time. for a long, long time, because I'll do what I need to do for me, and then I would go do what I need to do for family, and then sleep for a few hours, then wake up because I need to do what I need to do for me, and then do what I need to do for family, and do
And the circle
yes,
continues.
and friends, and like it was all a circle, like a cycle. Yes, I would always be busy, but not in business. So
Are you feeling any better?
yes, I feel way better. As much as I'm getting the backlash, oh, you're becoming lazy, oh, as much as the backlash is there, my body feels way better. Like I feel like I'm rested. Like I can wake up in the morning and feel like, whoa, I slept enough. That is way important for
It's
me
an
right
achievement,
now. Yes,
actually.
it's an achievement for me. And I can stand and say, yes, I am rested today.
So any message for people out there who have been raised by toxic parents or who are raising children in a toxic environment? Because hata sisi kuna wazazi tu among us ama kwa hii age group yetu bado who are toxic to their own, and they maybe or probably don't know they are toxic. Anything you'd want to shout out to them?
For me, to parents, I would want to tell parents of my mom's generation, and maybe parents who are starting to parent right now, like young parents like me, that you know what? At the end of the day, you are bringing up an independent person. They're independent of the mistakes you made, independent of where you grew up, independent of where you decided to bring them up. This is somebody who does not like it. He did not determine if you grew up in a toxic place. He's just an innocent person, she's just an innocent person. So, as much as you're wounded, allow yourself to heal. I think that is one thing we never allow ourselves to heal.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to heal first, so that you're able to raise up your own. Parent yourself. Parent your wounds. Sometimes it's as bad as sometimes I decide when I'm so mad, I sit down and talk it out and say, yo, this and this, yo, I don't want this and this in my life. This is as much as that. So allow yourself to heal. Allow yourself to make mistakes, and accept that you're making mistakes, because we all make mistakes anyway.
Yeah.
So the most important thing is understanding that when you make a mistake, and it's okay to tell your kids sorry, as in
Yeah.
it's okay to tell your children sorry.
Sure.
Yeah,
And to explain to them things.
yes. As much as we want to say, oh, these kids need to learn the 5 important words, thank you, sorry, the question is, are you using them yourself? Are you using those words to your own kids? Are you telling them thank you? Are you telling them sorry? Are you telling them please?
Welcome.
Yes. Are you telling them all this? How much of it are you doing? And at the end of it all, when your kid chooses a different path than you thought they would choose, allow them.
Yeah.
Yes, allow them.
I think parenthood is more of a purpose. You purpose to be a certain person.
Yes, it's more of you purposing to be somebody.
Yes. Tell us about your hustle, about your business, about your cooking, whatever.
So I am more of a creative chef. I love playing around with ingredients to give you a healthy, creative meal. Yes, so I do outside catering. I cater for birthdays, for when you have guests in your house.
Yeah, but the cakes, they are looking so amazing. I've seen them. Yeah.
Yes, and if you want, if you work all the week and you want meal preps done once a week, we are your to-go person. We
Like
come.
you cook for people, they store in their fridge.
Yes.
And kazi ni kukam tu kuom
Yes.
wakikula.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So guys, if you want her services, kindly DM me. If you want to talk about toxicity, if you've been raised by a toxic parent, if you think you are a toxic person, unajua mtu tu ndiye anaweza jiita mkutano yake na ajievaluate, ajue by the way, I don't think whatever I'm doing to my children is okay, it's right. If you think you are a toxic person, a toxic parent yourself, reach out to us. Let's talk, let's heal together, let's learn to be a better people, let's raise a healthy generation. By the way, have you ever considered therapy?
Yes, I'm currently doing that. I'm in my second session of therapy.
How is it going for you?
It is intense, and yes, I appreciate the fact that I have to debunk and learn things that I have learned.
Do you recommend?
Yes, I recommend therapy for any other person. It's not about even those that are sick outside, but I think therapy is for everyone.
Yeah,
We all
therapy is for all of us.
yes, we all.
Is it expensive? I've never been to therapy. Is it
Yes,
expensive?
it's expensive.
Oh.
It's like 2,000 a session.
A session.
Yeah, that's the cheapest I've gotten so far. I don't know if there are cheaper sessions.
But mental health and emotional health, I think it's the most important than
Yes.
anything else.
Yes, it's the most important part of our well-being. So,
Yeah,
yes,
sure. Why not?
why not?
Sawasa. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for hosting us. Thanks for agreeing to speak out, Manze.
Yeah.
It takes so much courage.
Yeah.
You may heal, by the way. You have healed.
No, somebody told me the first step to healing is speaking up.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That is why I encourage that so much.
Yeah.
So guys, that has been it for today. Thanks for watching. Kindly comment in the comment section about today's topic. Yeah, like, share. Until next time, bye. Love you.